I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome to the season finale of Nancy Drew. I'm your host, Chelsie Overocker. We have our full panel tonight. We have Kay Montgomery.
Hey guys.
Hey Kay. Are you staying safe out there?
I am. Doing my best.
Good. All right, and also Kay here is a lover of old-fashioned mysteries. So this is our last one that we're gonna figure out tonight. And then last but not least, we have Samantha Jacobs.
Hi y'all.
Hi,
How are
doing
you?
good? Good, doing good tonight?
Yes, I'm so excited to talk about this episode.
Oh, me too. And then Sam here is also a fan of the Nancy Drew books. That's why she's on this panel. And she's running our live chat. So if you're in the chat room, say hello. And if you're an Apple Podcast listener and would like to join in, simply go to AfterBuzzTV.com, select Nancy Drew, and join on in. Okay, for tonight's season finale, we are going to be talking about Owen's death. Was everyone shocked from what really happened to him? And then Bess and Lisbeth's relationship, they are having work conflict issues come between them. Is that also going to affect their relationship as well? And George is pulling away from Nick. And after watching tonight's episode, I'm even more invested in the relationship. Do we all feel the same way? And for special segment with Sam, we're going to discuss our favorite scene or the moment from that episode, our favorite moment. And news and gossip with Kay. The showrunners will let us know what we can expect for season 2. And then predictions, what's going to happen next season? We'll kind of talk about that. But before we get into tonight's episode, ladies, what was your overall thoughts?
I'm sad that it's over because we're missing 4 episodes. It was a very condensed version, I will say. But I'm so proud of George in this. I need to do my humble brag and say I was right about Owen and how Nancy needed to get her act together, and she's getting it together slowly. But, you know, that's how I felt. I felt like they really just tried to push everything together, but we got what we needed.
Yes.
Yeah. I was sad to see Owen go, even though he was not my favorite character. I was absolutely wrong about him because I thought for sure the Algaeca took him. So that was a nice, juicy piece of like, wait, what going on? That was probably for me the most shocking thing in the episode, to find out that Owen was not killed by a supernatural force. So that was a shocker.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree with you, Sam. I was totally team George for this whole episode. So I cannot wait to talk about her and just how she evolved as a character overall. So I think that's really great. But let's get into our first topic, Owen's death. So Kay, you touched on a little bit. You were shocked. You thought it had something to do with Algaeca. But last week, I was kind of more assuming it was going to be someone who killed him. What were your thoughts, Sam?
I didn't think that we would find out who killed him. I thought they were going to leave that as our season 2 intro. But I had no idea. I didn't know who it was going to be, but I knew that he was dead. I kind of thought that it was going to be the mom in some way. Like some type of Marvin Hudson mom type of thing going. But I didn't think Josh. I
agree. I didn't know that they would pull Josh into this. I mean, I know it was still a mystery because he just, after he got electrocuted, he just left and he disappeared. He went off the canvas for a while. So it makes sense that they brought him back, but I didn't think it was to kill Owen. So let's get into this topic. Last week, we left off assuming Algaeca killed Owen because they did not pay the toll. However, I thought it was really weird how Owen ended up in a bathtub and that his phone was placed on the ground in the hallway. And in this week, we learn that the Algaeca takes all souls when they have to pay the toll, just not one. So that gets Nancy to think, okay, let's check out Owen's apartment and see what's going on. And they see a handprint on the window and they're thinking, okay, who would be watching Owen? But then we learned that it wasn't Owen, it was Nancy the whole time. And then when Lisbeth is there at the scene, she grabs the substance from the handprint and it's blended with ethyl, gasoline, and FCW oil. And right away when they say motorboats, I was like, okay, it's Josh. Because who else would it be?
Right.
Was that kind of a big clue for you guys too in that moment when they were all putting it together with the fingerprint?
It was for me because I remembered how he just left mysteriously and they never touched base on it. And I'm sure they were going to try to like extend his plot, but they had to bring him back. I think if they didn't bring him back this episode, something would still feel missing, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And then I thought the phone was great too, because that was still a big mystery for last episode, because I kept thinking, why would the phone just be dropped in the hallway? Like, that's really weird. And we learned that someone was trying to, well, it was Josh trying to get into the phone to send a text message to Nancy. But this is why we're Team Owen, because he sacrificed his life to protect Nancy. A little bit of party dance right here. But do you guys like overall how they brought this into the scene, or did you wish it was the Algaeca? Are you glad that it was Josh? Not glad, but do you like how the showrunners, I know we're not happy about it, but do you like how the showrunners made it Josh the killer instead of the Algaeca the killer, and it was more, not so much a ritual?
You know what it made me realize, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about it in news, is that nothing supernatural has ever killed anybody, right? Like we were like, maybe Lucy was the one who killed such and such, and maybe, and I just feel like ghosts are around to guide you, maybe scare you sometimes. But I don't think in this situation, the supernatural is ever going to actually kill anybody. Because we've been like, once I realized that the Algaeca didn't kill him, I was like, you know what? Ghosts never kill anybody in this show. Like we see blood buckets, little different things happen. But like, I think that, you know how different worlds follow rules? I think that's a rule in Nancy Drew's world. Is that the supernatural can scare you and frighten you, and it makes all of these, it makes us have ideas like it's gonna kill somebody, but it never once has, and I don't think it ever will.
Yeah. Do you guys like that part of the show where for right now, the supernatural is just kind of more of a presence, but really it's someone that who kills people. It's nothing to do with supernatural elements, just only that there's a presence and it can misguide us. But do you guys like how they bring that into the show, or do you want a supernatural death almost? I don't know. It's going to make it interesting.
Because when I realized that, I was like, wait, they've been getting us this whole time. Because we're all like, well, maybe it was Lucy, or maybe it was this, because it scratched the back of, you know, Bess's legs that time. But then when I started piecing everything together and being like, wait a minute, supernatural never kills anybody. So I think that would be something that would kind of mix it up if they want to do it next season. If not, then I'm just going to be like, I'm not going to be worried about the Algaeca really. Because I'm going to be like, it's not going to kill anybody because the rules, you know? That
was my next question. So you think, because they ended this episode with all of them still getting these visions of them being dead. Do you think that you don't think that really is going to happen with the Algaeca? Okay.
No, I don't think the Algaeca is going to kill anybody. Like, I think that, they're going to they're going to maybe get more in depth with Georgia's mom, and she's going to tell them exactly how to reverse it or do whatever. But, and maybe the Algaeca is going to do portents for a few episodes, but like, I don't feel like the Algaeca is going to kill anybody. And I think that's because we've established rules.
Right.
And I just think I think that's the rules of this world, so that the supernatural is just going to be kind of playing in the background. And I don't know, because I'm not I know Susie used to be like the CW expert. Like, I don't know other CW shows like Supernatural or Kate Keene, or, I don't know those other shows. So I don't know, because I know Riverdale has an element of supernatural in it. I would be interested to see in other CW shows if their supernatural elements actually kill people.
More Supernatural does. I haven't watched the last couple of seasons, but there has been episodes where a supernatural presence has been the main part of that case.
And it kills people.
Yeah, well, now they kind of get more into angels and demons too. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of a whole different subject. But yeah, I think Supernatural does have more of a supernatural presence that kills and is part of the case than it does with Nancy Drew. But Nancy Drew does remind me a lot about Riverdale. What do you think, Sam, with the Algaeca? Do you think it's...
I think that it's probably, okay, here, let's do this. A seance isn't supposed to be fun and happy and dandy. Like, even if the ghost is nice or whatever, it's supposed to freak you out. You're talking to like another part, and so for it to be that spooky feature, it's still like, as humans today, it's still an unknown thing. Like, not everyone can connect with a ghost,
Right.
So I think that keeping that element, it's still spooky, but that doesn't mean it has to kill us necessarily. I like that it's different from the books and how we're adding the supernatural to help them solve the clues, because the town is so small. So Nancy is really getting a lot of help from these supernatural things, and then it also connects to our characters. So for George's mom to be connected to that world, like if they started killing, like, does that make George's mom a bad person? You know what I mean? Like, there's just those things that you kind of have to think about, like, are you using this for evil or good? And I think it's really just the matter of helping solve Nancy's mysteries.
You know what I will think, because you made a good point, by the supernatural is just a presence that might help them solve another case. I think the Algaeca really has to do with more the Marvins, because at the end of the episode, Bess sees the painting and she's asking Aunt Diana, what is this? And it's the face of the Algaeca. Because remember, they were able to see the Algaeca when they wanted to call out for Owen's spirit, but instead the Algaeca showed up. So they have seen it before, which is very rare. Normally doesn't show its face. So it's kind of like a little bit of Dead Lucy, where the Algaeca wants his or her presence to be known, because I bet you with the Marvins, there's some mystery there that we might get into with season 2 that's going to lead into the Algaeca's case that the Drew crew needs to solve.
Yeah.
Could be. But what I like is Lucy's mom and Nancy, because that was a sweet moment where I feel like Nancy for the first time is able to connect with a real family member. And she was like, I'm your granddaughter. What do you guys like about? Did you guys like that moment too?
I did too. It was nice to see a soft side of the mom, because I think before we've seen the mom as kind of a scary person, like she was flying off the handle. But this time she was really sweet, and she said something to the effect of like, we had our differences or whatever, but Lucy knew I always loved her and she always took care of me. And I was like, oh, that was good to know that they had at least some sweet moments together. And so that was nice for Nancy to be able to connect with her grandma, which sounds crazy to say, but to be able to kind of connect with her grandma and not just see her as like some crazy lady,
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought that just made her more human, and whatever her mental disability is, it's like that made her come back to like everyone's level.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then Nancy does ask, so where's Josh at? She's like, well, Josh never went away. So Nancy goes on top of the roof. She finds out Josh's hiding spot. She sees Lucy's charm, and she confronts Josh. That part was creepy with the knife. I was like, oh no, I thought someone was going to fall off the roof. Like, that's how it was going to end for me. But they end up saving Josh. He falls over the edge, but Nancy and Ace end up grabbing him. And I don't know what we're going to get for season 2, but do you think Josh is going to be there for Nancy, or do we still have some trust issues with Josh?
I feel like Josh freaked out because he didn't want to believe that Ryan was a part of his niece, I guess.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved how he like looked like Freddy Krueger, and like this was out there with the knife, and it was so perfect. I was like, okay, let's do this Halloween stuff.
So Freddy Krueger.
But I don't know. I feel like he might not. I think she's gonna realize that Josh not accepting her is the same thing as her not accepting her father, Ryan.
Very true. But I think Nancy will lean on Ryan first before she opens up to Josh.
Yes.
I could see that.
But wait, but she won't be able to have a relationship with Josh. She's gonna be in jail.
Yeah.
Like, he tried to kill her. That's not up to her. Like, the cops came, they investigated. It's the state versus the person. He's going to the pokey.
Yeah. So
what kind of relationship they have gonna try and have, it's gonna be like a Karen situation across the table. Like,
no, I don't know. You never know for next season, but they might bring Josh back in to help for a case or something. And I don't know if Nancy then would try to open up with Josh, because he is family, and I think maybe on some level she would want to try to connect with him a little bit, because she probably wants to know more about Lucy. If she had any questions about Lucy, I think maybe she would ask Josh, because right now Lucy's mom, she's either in or she's out. And I just don't know if they're going to tie up the whole loose ends with Lucy. So maybe that's why they would bring Josh back into it again. But Kate, do you think they'll even bring Josh into next season, or do you think his storyline is done?
Nah, I think he's out of there, because like, he tried to kill her, so he's going to jail for that. He murdered Owen. He definitely going to jail for that. And you know, Nancy does not forgive people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Raised her entire life and done nothing but give her a good life. So you think that she gonna forgive a dude that tried to murder her and murder, you know, for the flavor of the week, the love of her life at this point? Like,
oh yeah, no, definitely not forgive, but she might still have questions.
She's gonna talk to him. She ain't even talking to her dad right now.
Yeah.
No,
not unless she there's a chance that she could change and have like some kind of catharsis and process through Owen's death and kind of be different. But like, you know, old Nancy, we know, hold the grudge, don't want to talk to people, you know.
She's out of there.
Get out of my life. That's what she's saying.
Exactly.
Get out of my life.
But they probably, I don't know. I feel like season 1 is going to bleed over into season 2, because we know that there's some season 1 still left because of COVID and editing issues. But that's the good point that you made, Chelsie. I mean, there may well be in the official season 2, like a metamorphosis or some kind of change within Nancy. We might see a different Nancy. That would be great.
Yeah, we might. Because I feel like with this season, she's always always action before thinking, almost, is kind of how I would best describe Nancy. Like, whenever there's something impulsive that would happen, impulsive is the best way to describe Nancy. Maybe in season 2, she's not going to be quite as impulsive. Like, she's going to maybe think things more through, and whatever case is going to lead into season 2, she might think, okay, how can I think about this, and what's the best way it's going to benefit the situation? But I don't know. I just thought maybe because she pulled Josh up from the ledge, and he did try. Well, he killed Owen and he tried to kill her. But I just have a feeling maybe that's not the end of their story plot, their storyline. There could be more to it. And if Nancy wants more answers, maybe about Lucy or anything with maybe Lucy's mom, Josh is going to be the go-to person for that. Because Ryan only knows Lucy up to a certain point, but Josh knows that's her brother. Josh knows Lucy. He grew up with her. So I feel like if there's anything that's going to go back with Lucy, Josh is the go-to person. Just kind of my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. And that was kind of the whole case between Owen. I'm sad Owen's not coming back, and I thought maybe somehow he would, but no, unless they need to talk to their spirit.
They said it right off the top, like, he's dead. I was like, what? Like, wow.
Yeah. I knew it.
He's our first death, huh? Like, I mean, of a character that, like, we knew. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so that's pretty wild.
I was a fan of Owen, but we also are a fan here at AfterBuzz TV, and Sam here has a message for you guys.
Yeah, we wanted to thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV talk, and to continue to make this grow and make this as amazing as it is, we need your help. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, if you can like and subscribe. If you're listening to us on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. And as always, you are our fourth mic. So we want to hear you guys comment. We want to communicate with you. You are a part of the show as much as we are. And so let's keep the conversation going and keep this boat alive. And of course, we're going to give a big thank you to Maria and Kevin for everything they do and bringing this to the table for us in general. So
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Thanks, guys, and thanks for tuning in remotely too. We appreciate it. So with Bess and Lisbeth's relationship, they are having some issues. And I don't know, after kind of watching this episode, I know we weren't really a fan of Lisbeth, but she's starting to grow on me a little bit. And I think she really on some level does really care for she really does care for Bess, because when they were in the police station, she's like, gosh, I really wish I was there. I didn't come across a selfish reason as when I first thought it was. I think she really wanted to be there to see what was going on, investigate it, and be there for Bess. It wasn't more coming out of, oh, I'm your girlfriend and I have to show pride and I have to be here. But I don't know. What was your guys' thoughts on Bess and Lisbeth this episode?
Hey,
you guys are still no?
I don't trust her because I don't know. If I really love somebody, I think I'd give them like some gems, right? Like, come on. For her to be like, there's skeletons. Like, she's not stupid. She knows there's skeletons in that closet of her family. So like, I don't know. I don't trust her. I feel like she doesn't want her to know something, and it might be because she's tied to it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the more and more they talk, the more and more I just go, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's not gonna work. She wants to be super detective and do whatever. And then Bess wants to be a super Marvin and get in there, and it's just like, this is not going to work. It's just it's just doomed to fail. And I'm like Sam, I just don't trust Lisbeth.
I mean, even people.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Tell me.
I was gonna say, people in the chat are on our side. I just want to let you know that chat people are on our side. They're saying Liz is bad news, and she's sketchy, and she could be protecting her, and she's not. Like, see.
No, I do agree that I don't think the relationship is definitely not working out. We saw them go like this, opposite ways this episode, but I think Lisbeth also has her guard up as well too, because she even confronted Bess by saying, would you let me know what was going on with your family? And Bess hesitated. She didn't really give her that answer either. So there's trust issues on both parties. Bess has trust issues, and Lisbeth has trust issues with Bess too. So that's why I don't think it's going to work. But I don't know. I mean, am I a huge fan of Lisbeth? No, she's never really been one of my favorite characters, but I hope for season 2 we could see a little bit more of her story, because I think there's still something hidden there that we quite don't know yet. And I don't know. So we'll see. And wouldn't it be interesting though if Aunt Diana knows a little bit more about Lisbeth and her family too? I think Aunt Diana knows way more than what she's leading on. So
yeah. I think Aunt Diana is a boss. I like her.
Oh,
she is, girl.
She is. I like her. I'm like, she says the right things at the right time. She gives you that little like sass, but not really. It's like endearing. I don't know. I love it.
Tell me this. I was like, wait a minute. I'm not sure if that's true. Like, I felt this episode like she was kind of rewriting Bess's history when they were in the hallway before, she was telling Bess about the paintings. She was like, you have a place here. It's comfortable. We love you. You probably, she was like, yeah, you've never had someone to care for you. Like, you've never had a mother and a father to care for you and look out for you. I was kind of like, what? Like, okay, like Bess didn't know her dad, but it seemed to me, I mean, maybe she was just saying that she was pretty happy with her mom. I mean, she grew up, she didn't have much, but it wasn't like her mom neglected her. And I felt like Aunt Diana was trying to play her like, you've never had a good family. And I was kind of like, wait, what? No,
no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I thought that was interesting. I was like, that's kind of shady on Aunt Diana's part, but like that's how you ingratiate people to you, right? You make them think like we're the only people you have. We're the only people that care about you. The only people that love you. So I was kind of like,
If Bess had to choose between Lisbeth or Aunt Diana, who do you think she would go for?
Ooh, Aunt Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she would be wrong either if she chose Aunt Diana.
No, I agree, because I think she's even, like I said, having red flags with Lisbeth, and even when she was, they were all, when Lisbeth had her suspects and Bess was talking to her saying, okay, will you let me know if you find anything? Lisbeth was like, no, I'm probably not going to do that. Probably not. And even Bess had to take a step back, like, okay, what's going on with our relationship? So I think she's turning more into a Marvin because she wants it so badly. And Aunt Diana can be controlling. And I think unless, how do I say this? Unless Aunt Diana is just wanting Bess to be in a relationship with Lisbeth just to have a cop on their side, if Bess isn't willing to do that, then Aunt Diana's gonna be like, okay, cut ties with her because I don't approve of her. She only wants that relationship so she can have a cop on her side. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, because before she was telling her, that she needed to not take Lisbeth seriously and not really bring her around.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing she was like, yeah, you need to get as much information, you cozy up to her. I was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, we'll see what goes in the next season. All right. Favorite couple, Nick and George. We are a huge George fan, and I like how they wrapped up her story for this season, because it does start off with when she was with Ryan, and she just had insecurities about being with him because she calls him out. She's like, I was 17, you were an older man, you kept me secret. And when you're at 17 and an older man's telling you all these promises or filling your head with ideas, you're going to believe them. So she said, you should have known better. You should have stopped this. But I'm glad where she caught herself saying, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. And I'm going into a new relationship, and I'm not going to be held back because of you and your actions. And I was just a Team George for this whole episode. Sam, what are your thoughts on George?
I am so proud of George. I can't even wrap my head around, because at first when she's doing Ned like that, I was like, what is her problem? I was getting so frustrated, and I even wrote here in my notes, like, George is making me cringe. Why? And I was so mad. And then finally, when she talked to Ryan, it's like, I mean, a lot of women can be in that position in many different ways, right? Like, I've been a George per se, and like, it is so hard to speak your mind and speak up to someone and be able to be proud of being a woman, right? And for her to express how she was feeling and how she's like, I'm not gonna let how you like manipulated me continue, like that alone is like, how many women can't say that? Like, for her to say that and do that is amazing. And for them to do that to her character is completely evolution for George, because before you did see her as like the meek, I'm going to be quiet, I just need some type of love, and this is the only person that's giving it to me. And for her to be with a nice guy like Ned, they like, she wants to better herself, and that's just something to be happy about. And for her to become an adult, she is ready to own this restaurant. Like, she's ready. She's, I don't worry about George anymore.
No. What about you, Kay?
Yeah, I mean, that was good. I was last week after the last episode, I was folding laundry, and I was just thinking about Ryan's character, and I was like, he's Nancy's dad, and he, especially after Bess was like, you had a relationship with Nancy's dad, I was like, but he still is like a pedophile. Like, how are we gonna reconcile that? Like, as a writer, like, how would you reconcile that? But they got back to it this week, and it was perfect, because what we needed was for George to confront him and for him to take responsibility and say, yeah, that was messed up. I was in a messed up place. That was my bad. Like, I was trash. So I was like, okay, that was good. Like, it's really on the road to redemption for him. And great for her to recognize that as well. There was a part where Nick says, are you trying to push me away? And then he tries to grab her hand, and he says, I forgot, no one likes that. And I was like, oh my gosh, no one. And then I realized, like, poor Nick, like, he's never been able to, at least as we've seen, been in like a healthy relationship. Like Nancy and him were dating, they had chemistry, but she had him in a corner. Like she didn't want anybody to know that they were together. They didn't get to hold hands in public and be a couple and all of that kind of stuff. And then for George to treat him like that too, and just be like, oh, well, I'm just really not into PDA. I was like, dang, poor me. You'll never find a girl that want to be out with him. Like, which is insane because he's a cutie and a nice guy. So for her to realize she just had issues that she needed to work through, I was like, yes, I was so glad. And then to see them come together in the end, I was like, oh my gosh, now they get to be like a for real cute couple. I am here for it. I'm so excited for next season to like see them together, working in the club and being all cute. So I'm very excited about that.
We're looking forward to it. But I will say I am impressed with Ryan the most this season. He has grown so much as a character. He started off kind of as this self-absorbed person at the very beginning, and then now he's really thinking things through. Like I really liked how he owned his mistakes with George, who was like, you know what, you're right, call me out, I should have known better. And I liked how he stopped at Nancy's house in the beginning of the episode just to check in on her, to make sure she's okay. And he's here because he's like, I'm her father, I just heard that Owen got murdered, I want to check in on her. So I really do see him trying, and I'm hoping for next episode that we could see more of Nancy and Ryan involved together as a daughter and father relationship. But that was pretty much our season finale. Let's go ahead and get into our special segment. Sam?
Yes, so we want you guys in the chat to join us. We're going to all go over our OMG moments of the episode or of the season, since this is our season finale. What had you like shook? What had you scared? What had you say, oh my God? So let's start with you, Chelsie.
Well, I'll just say for this episode, my favorite OMG moment was with George and Ryan and with Nick and George. And I liked how she's saying, I always feel like I'm that girl that you keep a secret, not the girl that you take out to dinner. And then Nick has said, oh, well, let's go ahead and make reservations.
Yes. So cute. So cute.
So cute. But yeah, that was kind of my favorite moment for this episode. And then, you know, kind of shocked me a little bit with Josh and Nancy when they're fighting. You just see like the knife. And I'm glad that we did know who did kill Owen. I thought they might leave it on to season 2. So I kind of like how that unraveled as well.
How about you, Kay?
From this episode or period?
You can do either one.
There's so many.
I know, maybe this episode. I feel like the whole season we've just been shook around, shaken, rattled. Yeah.
I think when Josh was hanging over the edge of the building, like when he flipped over and was just like hanging, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought for sure he was gonna fall. And that Nancy said, you know, I had to think about it. Like I wanted to let him fall. And she felt bad about that, which I thought was like really a testament to, you know, how just she is a really good person. And, you know, Nick just told her, you thought about it, but you did the right thing. That's what's important. But when he was hanging over the edge, I was like, oh, he about to fall on top of that cop car. It is over. Yeah. So, yes.
I honestly thought that was going to be like a Mufasa moment where she was going to say something and let him go. And then it didn't happen. Yeah, because he was literally like this. And I was like, oh, she's going to be mean and do something. And she didn't. So good girl, Nancy. For me, I want to say my OMG moment was the end. I didn't expect that at all. I don't know what I expected. I guess I wanted it to end around the Josh thing, and maybe we could have ended there and then the next season could have started fresh. But for us to see them all basically dying, that's a lot to say. You're like, you know, that's a lot, a big message. I honestly do not really know what we can expect in season 2.
Yeah, with all those visions that they keep getting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But what's the chat room? Are they participating? Do they have any favorite moments from this season?
Logan Knight says that his OMG moment is Owen being dead, period. When because he's so good looking. Yes,
he
all know that. Billie Jean 24, her OMG moment is the ending. Yeah, same. Everyone getting a glimpse of their death was crazy. Nancy finding out she was Lucy's daughter was a big shocker. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that was great.
Oh,
we
that
didn't
was
expect
huge.
to get that in the season finale. Like the fact that they gave it to us, 4 episodes ago, that was great. That was one of the best reveals. Yeah, that was so good.
That was a great episode. That was one of my favorites for this whole entire season.
Yeah, same for the whole season.
So good. Okay, well, let's get into some news and gossip. But hey,
AfterBuzz TV News.
You guys are saying you don't know what's going to happen in season 2, but guess who does? No.
Oh, yes.
Give us the rundown.
I have a little deep story. Okay, so the showrunners are basically your writers who are in charge of the show. They gave an interview to Entertainment Weekly, and they said there will always be a supernatural presence in the show. It can come in many forms. It will always be rooted in something human and earthbound that's happening in Nancy's life and Horseshoe Bay as a town. So we're never going to get away from the creepy spookiness of Horseshoe Bay, which I loved. That was great.
Yeah.
But I think the more we get to box in the rules of the show, we know that the supernatural isn't going to be something to be feared as much. So anyway, they said moving into season 2, there's going to be a triangle, daddy-daughter triangle, not a love triangle, a daddy-daughter triangle, with of course Carson, Ryan, and Nancy.
Yeah.
Everything's going to try and go back to normal at this point. They said Carson is going to be trying to resume his law practice. Ryan is going to be trying to decide how much he wants to be involved in his family empire. It seems like before he had kind of swore the family off. But I think he's going to get pulled back in. And I totally forgot about this. They talked about how his dad is facing trial for murder.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. So they are gonna need him kind of to step up in the family and get some family. So
wow.
That is good.
I feel like he's gonna get sucked back into the family. So that's gonna be really interesting for season 2 to see how that plays out. So a lot of really interesting details and probably loose ends that we had completely forgot about coming back to kind of fray, edges and unravel things again. So very exciting season 2 coming up.
Did they say anything about Lucy, or she kind of wrapped up for this season? They're now going to move on to the next story plot for season 2.
And they said that too was the idea that there will essentially always be a mystery, just like we saw this season. Some smaller that can be solved in one episode, and then others that span throughout the season.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't see any mention of Lucy. Not to say that she isn't coming back, but I didn't see anything about it.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So, well, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for season 2. Yeah. Even though this is the season finale, I know you kind of just gave us a rundown, Kay, of season 2, but do you guys have any predictions of what you think, how the season's going to start off next year?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Maybe we will start off with the Hudsons. We haven't heard from Mama Hudson in a while.
It's been a while. And how long is Ryan going to wait before he tells the family?
That's right. They still don't know.
That's it.
And it's not up to Nancy to tell. If it was up to Nancy, she wouldn't tell anybody, right? But Ryan is going to need to let the family know. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how that whole situation plays out. And now Nancy just has family all over town, honey. She got grandmama in the little crazy house thing. She got her brothers in prison. Her uncle's gonna be in prison. I don't know.
She's gonna need someone. So who's gonna be Nancy's next love interest? Do you think it's gonna be Ace. Or do you think it's gonna be a new character? We're going with Ace?
Ace, 100%.
No, now that I think about it, it probably is gonna be a new character. Poor Ace is gonna be sidelined again. He's gonna be puppy dog. He's gonna be the best friend that's there. He's gonna be the best friend that's there, and she's gonna pass him right on by. For some little new dude that's coming into town, she's gonna pass him by, and then he's gonna end up going out with the librarian girl that is really cute.
No.
And then Nancy's gonna be jealous, and then she's gonna try
Nah.
and get him back, and that's gonna be drama.
No, they had that like I was a nerd and you were a nerd, not like the I was a nerd and you were a nerd. It was like
I mean,
different...
friendship evolves. Ask George and Nick. Friendship evolves.
He's just so good. She needs somebody that's grounded, and he's the most grounded.
He is grounded, but he likes her too much. She's not gonna want
she
somebody
doesn't
that likes
like that. You're right.
She likes a little mystery with the guy too, or if there's a problem. So we'll see. There's lots of possibilities for season 2. So I enjoyed being part of this panel and working with you guys, hosting with you guys, and I just want to stay safe, and hopefully we can all be back for season 2. But quickly before we leave, Kay, where can they find you on social media?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna miss you guys so much over the summer, the longest summer. Yeah. So you guys can definitely find me at Host K. That's HOSTKAY. I'm on Instagram and Twitter.
Awesome. I'm gonna miss you guys. This is like my favorite part of the week, and of course I miss the people in the chat. So hopefully you guys stay in touch, and when we get to season 2, you're right there with us again. So if you want to hit me up, I'm on Instagram at @storyup_Samantha.
Yes. And then you guys could find me on Instagram at Chelsie Overocker, and on Twitter at Chelsie Overocker. And yeah, I really want to thank all the fans that we have in the chat room being with us every Thursday night. We love hearing your thoughts and your opinions about the show. So hopefully we can all be together for season 2. But I know, like a little heart. My little heart. Okay. All right, you guys. Will you guys all stay safe and have a good night, and we will see you next season.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest